versus Trump. That is to say, a guy with an ideology versus a guy with no attention span who sees a lot of shiny objects.
Rick, what do you make of that?
You know, if Hillary didn't have her email problem, and we didn't go back to 2009 and see whether it was Lindsey Graham or John McCain, make a bigger issue out of all the hacking that was going on. When Target gets hacked, I don't hear people saying, hey, was it Kohl's? Was it Walmart? It doesn't matter. There was a hack, you deal with it. I think that what's going on here is really so politically driven. It doesn't matter who did what when. Working with Russia, we work with Iran. Are they our friends? You have to take each situation uniquely. Listen, the president-elect has a boatload of issues. I agree with the pull of his ego. But I think that the media in general is just being quite unfair here.
Why is this a media issue?
Why is it a media issue?
This is
why don't we focus?
This is the intelligence community.
Was all of this when the DNC was hacked in June. See, this wasn't made an issue because it would have put the emails in Hillary's server right in the middle and thick of it. That's why this went under the radar screen. This is all tied together.
Hillary's server. We have to not conflate the Hillary emails.
Why wasn't this investigated long ago?
Let me finish with the Russian interference in this election. I don't agree with Kellyanne Conway. I actually do think that you know, the Russians got what they wanted. They interfered. They are creating this chaos. We are 2 weeks outside of an inauguration, and we have chaos around what happened during our election process. So I think that there was success, and I think the president-elect needs to not just move from, you know, accepting that there was an attempt, but to really going after the Russians, because here it's the elections, the next time it's another election, maybe it's the Republicans, maybe it's our economic system, and we have to treat this seriously, and the president-elect needs to get out of campaign mode and get into government.
Putin is a guy who murders journalists, who's destroyed the democratic process in his own country, and now suddenly he feels the freedom to try to do that in our country. I don't know. It's quite an act. It's not normal statecraft. It's not normal statecraft.
To see Russians happy because Trump won on election night, I never saw you so unhappy. You pick sides. Everybody picks sides.
That's not true, Rick. That's just not true.
It really is not. And this
and
is
let's get back to the facts here.
The Russians
what are the facts? We've been seeing entities from. We were hacking Merkel's phone. Everybody does it.
Rick, here's the difference. What we do it, they do it. What made this different is that the Russians weaponized it by transferring it through intermediaries to WikiLeaks. They dumped it out. We do it and hold it. They do it and hold it. This is the first time. WikiLeaks was out from the end of the summer, and it was being investigated.
So where were these headlines then?
Because there were plenty of There were plenty of headlines. There was no proof of who did it.
People in charge of intelligence are political as well here.
What happened here is that the intelligence gathering that normally takes place was operationalized by the Russians to interfere with our elections. I mean, we look at the report.
They did it in Ukraine. They're doing it in Germany now.
They're doing it in Germany right now. This is really serious, and we're not going to get over it by just saying everybody does it.
Right. We should be solving the problem instead of making it a political hot potato. Let me see the Cuban missiles on the island picture. Trump needs to see it.
Well, I went to the hearing.
Networks need to see it.
I went to the hearing.
All the hearings. You know what? There's hearings on everything. They're kabuki theater.
Well, Rick, if you had been there, you would have seen something very different.
I'm going to pause this conversation. We will come back, but when I come back, I'm first going to have a conversation with the outgoing Secretary of Defense, Ash Carter. He joins me here. I'll ask him, what could the United States do to retaliate against Russia?